Hey everybody, today is Tuesday and it is 23rd day of April 2024, and this is my training vlog, day 161 of year 3 of Operation Great Reset, Build Back Better, Wheelchair Roadwork. You will have nothing, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. I'm Charles Lamson, your happiness guide, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm still over here at Mom's, going back home on the 4th, so kind of looking forward to that. Shoulders are still, I don't know, kind of messed up, but they're better. But anyway, today's raining. It's raining out there, but I just had to get up and get out. I had to get out and do some kind of exercise, and I don't know, nothing. Seems like nothing really beats just sort of getting in the manual wheelchair and pushing myself around. I mean, it seems like it's the best. I mean, it's better than any kind of weight training or anything. But anywho, so my point being is today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I guess it is all a part of Build Back Better. On my Twitter page and X page, whatever, and on my blog, I've been doing a pictorial analysis of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I did the same thing, well, not as in-depth as I'm doing right now, but I did the same thing years back, back when I really started getting serious about my blog, back in 2016. And but anyway, so those of you who have been following me on Twitter and on the blog will know what I'm talking about. Every day I call it the X proactive test. The reason I got that, I pretty much, I'm not going to say I stole it. I didn't steal it. It's not plagiarism. It's an homage. It's an homage to Stephen Covey and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the first habit is in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The first habit is be proactive. And part of that first habit, he espouses doing what he calls the 30-day proactive test. And so basically that's just like challenging yourself to be a proactive person for 30 days. Now, so when I first did this, I mean, I was really new to all this. I had that book sitting on my bookshelf. This back in 2016, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I had an old management teacher who, I don't know, some kind of business teacher. I forgot exactly where I got that, but he recommended that book. I got it and then put it on my bookshelf, and it just sat there collecting dust for years. And anyway, I was really just having a real rough time back then, and I thought, well, maybe let me try this self-help book. And it turns out it's kind of like a self-help book, or but it's also good for any kind of organization too, like business or nonprofit or what have you. Even if you're a coach, athletic coach. But uh, so anyway, so I came across. I was meaning to sort of get serious about my blog anyway. Again, this is back in 2016. So I came across this notion of doing this 30-day proactive test. I didn't even know what proactive meant at the time. I had to look it up in the dictionary and just do research actually. But anywho, yeah. So I don't want to digress too much, but so I pretty much just did it. I decided to just write about it in my blog because part of the 30-day proactive test is sort of letting other people know about it and sort of challenging other people to do it so you can be held accountable. And I just kind of thought, well, I'll just do it on my blog, so I write about it. I thought that was a pretty good way to be accountable, or to make myself accountable. But so anyway, yeah, and I did that years and years ago, and then I finished that and just started blogging about other things, other kinds of business things, management, economics, finance, and then I recently, I guess going on about 90 days ago, or well, it's day 60, it's day 71 now of at 71 days back, I was like, I was really feeling like I wanted to be more proactive about my Twitter/X presence. I've been on there since 2010, but I don't know, not really very serious about it. Just kind of dropping videos in there that I do on YouTube or blog posts or whatever. And so I just kind of thought, like I said, about 71, 72 days ago, I was just like, well, alright, I'm gonna see what happens if I apply 30-day proactive test to Twitter. So I did. And I came up with this idea, this little project that I would do, and I would call it the X 30-day proactive test, and to where I would just basically every day. At first, I was just thinking, well, I'll just do this, and then every day I'll post whatever, some kind of picture or meme or whatever, and just add some kind of stupid little comment or a music video or whatever. But just try to be proactive about my presence on, just basically challenging myself to be more proactive about my presence on Twitter/X. So I did that, and I don't know, I just for the first couple days I was just like posting weird pictures, and then it occurred to me, I remembered when I started doing I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to sort of revisit Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Lo and behold, that's what I did. I sort of, and so the thing sort of morphed. The 30-day the X 30-day proactive test sort of morphed into a pictorial analysis of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and where every day I was just, so it's kind of a challenge. Every day I just trying to figure out how to do an analysis of a whole book, but just by putting it in a tweet format, or I guess that word is, an X post format, and I'm too much of a cheapskate right now to subscribe, so I only get so much space. So anyway, my goal is just to kind of come up with cool graphics and steal graphics when I can that are appropriate. Well, not steal them, but I take them from Google Images sometimes and sort of write over them and do like a Dadaism type uh, project with it. The whole thing is pretty Dadaistic. Yeah, you Google that. That's a whole like art genre, Dadaism. But so I started doing that, and I got to this part. Kind of made it through the first part. Habit one, be proactive, and I started working on habit two, which is begin with the end in mind, and that's basically sort of the principle that all effective people, before they begin a project or what have you, they plan it all out very carefully in their mind at first. But not just that, but just basically everything has to things that are manifested in the physical world often are created twice. First, they're created in the mind as an intent or a plan, and then you go out and create it in the physical world. That's the second creation. Okay, so I started working on that, and then towards the beginning of the chapter that covers the second habit, he asks you to do this visualization exercise, and I did it before, and I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm a little bit different than most people when it comes to this visualization exercise. I don't know, I come from a pretty wild and crazy background, so kind of somewhat of a guy who's on the fringe. I've always sort of existed on the fringe, even before I had my accident when I was 19. And broke my neck. So even before then, I was kind of a punk rocker type kid, and but my point being, yeah. So I just kind of felt like I was a little bit different than most people who do this visualization exercise. But that being said, I still feel like it's kind of an important thing to cover, and but okay, so and this I covered this back on day 69 of the X Proactive test. Today is day 72, so if you want to go take a look at that post, yeah, it's on my Twitter feed, but it's also my X feed. It's also on my blog as well, charleslampson.blogspot.com. But anyway, so it goes a little something like this. So anyway, a Covey, he starts off and he's like, okay, so you'll want to find a nice place to read this, where you can be alone and uninterrupted. Clear your mind of everything except what you will read and what I will invite you to do. Okay, and you can do this, as well. I mean, I guess you can just sort of listen along with me right now, but or if you want to just read it at your leisure, yeah, I recommend going to check out the post on Twitter, on X. Sorry, old habits die hard. Sorry, Elon. I'm not trying to dish you, bro. Okay, but anyway, so find a place where you can be alone and uninterrupted while you read this. Clear your mind of everything except what you will read and what I will invite you to do. Don't worry about your schedule, your business, your family, or your friends. Just focus with me and really open your mind. In your mind's eye, see yourself going to the funeral of a loved one. Picture yourself driving to the funeral parlor or chapel, parking the car, and getting out. As you walk inside the building, you notice the flowers, the soft organ music. You see the faces of friends and family you pass along the way. You feel the shared sorrow of losing, the joy of having known, that radiates from the hearts of the people there. As you walk down to the front of the room and look inside the casket, you suddenly come face to face with yourself. This is your funeral. 3 years from today. All these people have come to honor you, to express feelings of love and appreciation for your life. Let me scroll down here. So as you take a seat and wait for the services to begin, you look at the program in your hand. There are to be 4 speakers. The first is from your family, immediate and also extended, children, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents who have come from all over the country to attend. The second speaker is one of your friends, someone who can give a sense of what you were as a person. Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
There's about 3 of those chicken wings from, what you call it, left. They're the drumette parts.
Oh, okay.
And I've got chicken salad upstairs and
Anyway, so where was I? So yeah, the first is from your family. Okay, you got let me take this. Okay, so as you take a seat and wait for the services to begin, you look at the program in your hand. There are to be 4 speakers. The first is from your family, immediate and also extended, children, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents who have come from all over the country to attend. The second speaker is one of your friends, someone who can give a sense of what you were as a person. The third speaker is from your work or profession, and the fourth is from your church or some community organization where you've been involved in service. Now think deeply. What would you like each of these speakers to say about you and your life? What kind of husband, wife, father, or mother would you like their words to reflect? What kind of son or daughter or cousin? What kind of friend? What kind of working associate? What character would you like them to have seen in you? What contributions? What achievements would you want them to remember? Look carefully at the people around you. What difference would you like to have made in their lives? Alright, well, let's see here. So, I thought it might be fun to just kind of go over this now. I haven't had the best relationship with my family over the years. And as a matter of fact, when I first started doing that X 30-day, that 30-day proactive test back in 2016, I don't know, I was real mad. And not only that, like I said, I think maybe it's just 'cause I'm on the fringe, but I gotta think about this now. 3 years. I have to imagine that in 3 years, okay, I'm gonna be dead. Alright, and I think about like that Tom Sawyer movie or Tom Sawyer book or where they went to their own funeral. But yeah, so it's like, I know this may sound like BS, but I really don't care what anybody says about me at my funeral. Um, yeah, so I gotta ask myself, well, okay, but 3 years, this is something to think about because, yeah, to be honest, it might be a very real possibility. My health has not been very great. Um, I've been in and out of the hospital. My kidneys are shot. They're still functioning pretty well, but I keep getting stones all the time. And, they still work pretty well, but I just have a bunch of stones in there. And they got to the point where they're just not even trying to pursue it surgically anymore. I guess because of my spinal cord damage, I don't really have that much feeling, so it's not hurting, but the only thing that makes it bad, that makes you very prone to kidney infections when you have stones in there. So that's an issue. But so my point being, they're not even pursuing things surgically anymore, where they used to at least try. I guess this is genetic, to where I started getting kidney stone problems in my 40s. I'm 55 now. And I just feel like this is an important thing to address in the video because people battling my health problems has always been, it's a big part of my life, I guess, just because I'm in this chair, but because of my disability. But yeah, the kidneys have always been an issue. But my point is, I don't know how long I can live with just, because like I said, they used to at least pursue it surgically and go in and try to get the stones out. But now they're to the point where they say it's just like a gravel pit in there, and there's just too many. There's large ones, medium-sized ones, small ones, and they just don't even. They're just not even trying to pursue it surgically anymore because it's just too much. And I guess it's like a triage thing too. I'm 55 and on Medicaid, and it's just, I think like I said, it's a genetic thing. We just have a lot of problems with kidney stones, so they're just going to keep increasing. I just don't know. I'm kind of treading into uncharted territory here too with my health. It's not like a common occurrence. So I just don't know how long a person can live like that. Like I said, I don't know. I'm feeling okay right now. I'm not sick. I'm not in pain. But you know, kidney infections are and stones are a recurring issue with me. And so now that they're not even going to pursue these things surgically anymore, and once again, I'm not bitching, I'm just being realistic about this. That I don't know how long a person can live uh, like this, where you have a bunch of stones in your kidneys and they just kind of keep increasing. Um, I don't know how long I can live like that before it just gets to be too much. But like I said, they're working fine. I mean, as far as just being able to pee, I mean, they're putting out lots. I mean, without getting too graphic, they're putting out lots and lots of urine. It's not like they're not working. I mean, I take like I am very proactive about my health. That's one thing that has greatly I think the original 30-day proactive test I did way back in 2016 helped me, because I remember at the time I was pretty much of a party animal. Um, and, I did everything: smoked, drank, all a bunch of other kinds of extra curriculars. And, but, and I just thought, well, hey, this is just how I am. There's no way I'm going to be quitting all this stuff. But even while I was doing the test, I was like, well, I was trying to ask myself, well, sure, how can I be more like proactive in this situation? I could be more proactive about my health, stop all these various addictions. And at the time I wasn't even planning it. I wasn't even planning or trying. That wasn't even a thought that occurred to me. But it was just going through this book and trying to do the 30-day proactive test and write about it, doing a little self exploration and finding like healing music and stuff like that to listen to on YouTube to help me sleep when I was strung out. I would get like I would find like relaxing healing music on YouTube to listen to, and I just started doing that, and it was weird because it was just like I wasn't even making an attempt to quit. It wasn't. It was just. It was a natural process. It was like I started getting serious about that blog in 2016. It was like first I quit smoking, and then drinking, and then the harder stuff, which I won't get into, and then the last thing I quit was weed. I guess that was, I don't know, about 5 years ago or so. But like I said, it was like I wasn't even really trying. I remember at one point my kidneys were just really bad, and I kept going in and out of the hospital, and so I was like, well, man, I'm just gonna quit drinking. I'm gonna take a break, just to give my kidneys a chance to heal up. What ended up happening was I took that break, and I just ended up feeling so much better that I just stopped altogether. That was, you know, 8 years ago. Same with the cigs. Well, I pretty much quit the cigs just because the way healthcare is. Doctors just, and nurses for that matter, a lot of times if you smoke cigarettes, it's like they just don't even want to work with you. And I can't blame them, but it's like, 'cause they're so destructive to your body that they're like, well, there's only so much we can do while you're smoking cigarettes. So my point is, you don't really get that good at healthcare. So, and I got just tired of people looking down their nose at me, and I figured it could help my health, and it could save me a lot of money. And so, yeah, and it was weird. I just ended up quitting all that stuff, and it was just like a natural process. It wasn't, yeah, it was all very strange. And I think, yeah, I think this book, and not only that, but doing that 30-day proactive test and going through the book and writing about it and on my blog and doing all the self exploration, self help stuff really, and especially I'm not joking about that. Uh, if you can find it, all the different kinds of like healing frequency music on YouTube, I swear by that stuff. I listen to it all the time, and it really helps as far as healing. But meditation is definitely a big part of my life and a big part of my Build Back Better uh, Operation Great Reset as well. But I've been meditating though since I was a kid, but just for, well, I got some mental issues, but that I don't really take medicine for, but it seems like just clean living, nutrition, proper supplementation, meditation, that kind of stuff helps it. And I'm talking about I have somewhat of a history with bipolar, so that just really helps level things out. Uh, so what's my point? So yeah, when I did that visualization, so my point being, I just don't know if I'm gonna be alive in 3 years or not. So this is very appropriate. If my kidney, it's just they didn't really give me a diagnosis or anything, but I don't think they can because, like I said, this is kind of an unprecedented circumstance where, uh, uh, because the thing is, most people, I think, if without who do not have spinal cord damage, would just be in so much pain from the stones that they would have to have something be done. But since and it's like a triage thing. I'm old now. They have, they want to spend their time and money on people who are, I don't have a job. I don't have a family. I mean, aside from my, I'm not married or have kids or anything, but I have a mom, sister, extended family. But so when I first did this visualization exercise, I remember writing about it, and like all that bitterness came out. I think I wrote something like in the visualization exercise, I was like, well, as far as my family is concerned, I could give a shit less what they say at my family, because everything they say is bullshit, and I don't know, but and then I think I remember too back then, I was like, with my friends, I would just hope that they would say, well, he was a great guy, and I, I don't know, it's just, but now it's just like, I don't know if my age has something to do with it, I don't know, but I just really don't care. I have absolutely, I just don't give a shit what people will say about me at my funeral. But let's see, so let me think about this. So in 3 years, I'm dead. It's my funeral. I would first, my family would come up, and I just, I don't know. Everybody, all humanity, just to me nowadays, just seems so fake. Everybody just lives in like a delusional fake reality, to where I just so I just don't. I think a lot of times my point being there is that a lot of times I think I don't know. I don't know the point I'm trying to make. My point is this. At my funeral, people are going to say what they say. about me, my family, and I really don't care what they have to say about me, because just because. Okay, but now let's see. It just doesn't matter what they think about me. Let's see. So, let's. So what's the next one then? My immediate family. Yeah, just it doesn't really matter to me because it seems like a lot of the things they've said, think, and have said about me in the past just I don't know, just doesn't gel with my reality anyway. But let's see, what else? I mean, I love them and all, and I'm grateful to them, but I just don't think they're in touch with reality about stuff that has really happened. I'm kind of somewhat of a scapegoat. I get the blame for a lot of stuff that went on with this family, where I'm kind of the evil guy, the villain, and I just it's a lot of stuff I went through when I was a kid. I'm still pretty bitter about it all, and filled with a lot of anger, resentment about it. And whenever I try to have a real conversation about it with people, they just want to try and gaslight me, and or they get offended, like I'm being ungrateful or something, or that I'm just crazy and I'm somehow making all this up. So, you know, a lot of weird, wild MK Ultra mind control, gaslighting BS going on there. But hey, what are you gonna do? This is America. And so that leads us to extended family. Yeah, pretty much the same thing there. I feel like they all just kind of live in a delusional, false reality. That they've all created this false narrative that they live in, where everything was rosy and I'm the villain, and my dad was the greatest guy ever, and blah blah blah, and I mean, yeah, so, and everything is my fault. You know, if you know, he ended up killing himself, so it was pretty much because well, whatever, but anyway, I come from a pretty wild background, family-wise, so I could care less what they say at my funeral, just because, like I said, I think it just seems to me like 99% of what they say is just, it's mental illness. They live in a false narrative, a world of false narratives and delusional realities that I guess somehow helps them cope and get by day to day. But for me to survive, another part of that healing process from when I did this original 30-day proactive test back in 2017 was getting real honest with myself and sort of breaking my old programming and writing my own new programming. And part of doing that is being honest about what really happened, and not, not, instead of just going living with this fake narrative just so I can get by in the society, so people won't judge me, um, because of the stuff that happened. Uh, so then on to the next one. Let's see, children, brothers, grandparents. Okay. All right. So the second speaker is one of my friends, someone who can give a sense of what you were as a person. The only person I can think of right now who's like a real good friend to me, because when I was doing this before last time, I did kind of have a circle of friends that I was hanging out with, that I've had since we were teenagers, um, all growing up together in this area, and and at the time that was something that was real important to me. But again, part of like straightening out my act, and I totally quit hanging out with those guys just because I just they just party too much, and also they're just, I don't know. I started taking on this role where I was like the butt of everyone's jokes, and so I don't know. I just completely just, I don't know. I just felt like they were really, they would come over to my apartment and treat it like it's some kind of clubhouse, and they're basically just treating me with like no respect whatsoever. So I just whatever got out of. It was just time to change. For me, I had to. If I wanted to live, I had to quit hanging out with those guys. So, yeah, basically just I partied too much. They were just toxic people, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they did a lot of good stuff for me, but I'm grateful to them for a lot of stuff. But it seems like towards the end, things started getting pretty bad. People started treating me pretty shitty, and I just, like I said, I just changed. I started uh, just didn't want to hang out with them anymore. And so now I think the only friend I have is this person named Laura. I guess I don't know. I would like her. Let's see. I guess. Now think deeply. What would you like each of these speakers to say about you and your life? I don't, I don't really, again, I don't really care what she says about me. Oh, I consider her a friend, but it doesn't really, uh, even if she, like, said negative stuff about me, it really wouldn't bother me, but I don't think she would. That's why I just don't understand this exercise, and I don't understand, cause, why should I care what a bunch of people think or say about me at my funeral? Even someone who I consider a friend. What would I want her to say about me? What kind of character? Again, I just don't care. I don't know, man. Maybe I still, again, I guess I haven't made a whole lot of progress with this exercise. I don't understand why should I care what people say about me at my funeral? And next one is from a church. I just recently started getting back involved in the Catholic Church, uh, which is another thing. I was baptized Catholic as a kid, and but as a baby, but it was raised outside, non-religious. Um, I guess, and then I started getting really interested in it a couple of years ago, just doing a lot of studying and doing online masses and just learning as much as I can about Catholicism. I was going to start taking RCIA classes last year, which are adult conversion classes, and again, health problems were just too bad. And it's kind of funny because what ended up happening though, I even read the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I mean, I've always read the Bible just kind of on my own. Uh, Prayed a lot, but anyway, this kind of, and so needless to say, I've done tons of study though over the past 5 years or so. So I probably know more than most people who have gone to RCIA. I'm not bragging. It's just I'm a I love doing research and studying, and I'm a huge fan of history as well, and so the Catholic Church is just so rich in history. I mean, you can't really fully understand Western Civ. Fully understand Western Civ. I mean, it seems it would really behoove you to really learn as much as you can about Catholicism, because they play definitely a major role in Western Civ. But so anyway, what ended up happening was I was going to start taking the adult conversion classes, where eventually at the end of those, you take you start in September. I think it's like nine. I forgot 6, 9 months, and then on Easter you do your uh, first first confession, first communion, and become confirmed. What ended up happening was like I ended up not doing it just because I was sick. I didn't take the classes, but I did end up in the hospital, and I ended up seeing a priest, and I told him basically all of that, and and so I was like, and he was like, well, what do you want me to do? And he was like, I can, he's like, I can give you your first commission. I can give you your first confession, your first communion, or I can do anointing of the sick. Because yeah, things were pretty bleak. I thought, I came close to dying, and so I was like, well, let's do all three, and so lo and behold, yeah, it was like a deathbed conversion. I got my first confession, first communion, and I did anointing of the sick, and I ended up getting better. And since then, I've been doing communion from home. A Eucharistic minister comes to my place and uh, kind of he's become somewhat of a friend. Uh, and and my neighbor Laura, she's a big Catholic, pretty devout Catholic as well. So that's my only little circle of friends I have right now, and the only kind of church involvement I have going. And so I would have to say, if I die in 3 years, I mean, I would like them to say, nice things about me. Oh, he was a great guy and whatever, nice person, and I just, let's see, but what would I, okay, so what would you like each of these speakers to say about you and your life? I guess I would like them to say that maybe I was inspirational, that I perhaps inspired others to convert. I mean, that's really basically my main goal in life right now is just the conversion of sinners, using my own what to convert as many people as I possibly can before I die, and just to, I guess, I did end up writing a personal mission statement, I guess, as well. My personal mission statement is to live with integrity, and okay, yeah, my mission is to live with integrity and make a difference in the lives of others. So, when you get down to brass tacks, I would just like it even. I guess that even goes for my family too. I would just. My main goal nowadays is just I've dedicated my life to the conversion of sinners. I just want to be able to convert as many people as possible before I die through the example of my life. That is, I just want to live with integrity and make a difference in the lives of others. So, getting back to that, I guess I would like for my family to say that, yeah, that A, I guess he was a strong person. His life was very inspirational to others, and that I would like them to say that my example inspired them to convert to Catholicism, or to, in my mom's case, to revert to Catholicism. She has since gone astray. I guess in the same for my cousins, and for my friend Larry, the Eucharistic minister, my friend Laura. I guess I would like them to say, yeah, that I'd like them to say that about my life, that he inspired many people. Uh, and that I lived with integrity. I made a difference in the lives of others, and inspired many to convert to Catholicism. And so so that would both count as friends and someone from a church. Okay, the third speaker is from work, or profession. No, that was the fourth. The fourth was from okay, the first and second were from my. Yeah, that was my immediate family and my extended family. The third was my friend, and then the fourth is third speaker. No, the third is from your work or profession. Again, my work or profession. I'm on disability, pretty much. I do my blogging a lot. I started doing podcasting, internet radio, back in 2010. I know a lot of people in that genre, so they'll talk about the. And I made a lot of good friends in that arena as well. I guess I would just like them to say that, again, that, that I just really inspired people, and I helped through my work at the podcasting and doing internet radio, that I really just to help cheer people up and inspire them and help them feel a little bit less lonely and I was good at a good leader at basically just sort of rounding everybody uh, from time to time to do our various radio shows, and that I was just an inspirational guy. Um, and So let's see, and that would be, so the fourth would be uh, okay. So what kind of daughter, what kind of working associate was I? The fourth is for your church or some community organization. So once again, my exposure to church is a little bit unconventional. I do plan on going back to RCIA this coming fall, or trying to set up some kind of Zoom classes to where the adult conversion classes. We'll see what happens. I don't know, but so Larry, I guess, is the only guy, official church guy, or Laura too. But again, yeah, I would just like them to say that, I was an inspirational guy, and I helped inspire them in their religious practice. And that I just made a life difference in the lives of others, and so that's about it. I feel like I did a lot of yammering and stammering there and searching for words, but this was not an easy exercise for me to do. And so I feel like I went for almost an hour, so I think I covered it pretty darn thoroughly. So look carefully at the people around you. What difference would you have liked to have made in their lives? I just want to inspire people to be better and to convert. That's all. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to part ways. Until our paths cross again. Happy trails, everybody.